Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Totally Amazing Mushrooms. It's been cold, it's been wet, but that's okay, because we have our winter coats on. Come for a walk with us, see what we can see. Well, you know, winter's definitely here when you start seeing the Clavulina cristata, or coralloides. These guys are really neat. Little corals, and here, we'll get one up here. These beautiful guys. And they got this, these are also called the crested tip corals, and you can see that they've got these little tiny spikes on the ends of their little tips there. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I'll get you down here. They're kind of all through here. They're not very big yet. They're kind of on the smallish side, but that's okay. Now there are a couple of varieties of these guys. There's a grayish one, which is called the bicolor, the Clavulina bicolor, and it'll have kind of a grayer bottom with whiter tips. There's also the Clavulina cinerea, which is pretty much all gray, which even to the point where they can almost look kind of lilac-ish. There's also, I'm trying to remember the name of it, there's Clavulina rugosa. And very similar to these guys, but they have very blunt tips. They don't have these little tiny spikes coming off of them, like these little guys here, not these little coral things. But these guys actually have only trace amounts of iron and phosphorus, but they're loaded with potassium. Just awesome. Also, they have vitamins B2, B3 and B5. I think that's it for the Bs. But the big one about these guys is they have a compound in them called alpha-parineric acid. And this is the only fungi known in the world to actually have that compound in them, the alpha-parineric acid. And what that does is it helps us transport fats and lipids through our system without having them get deposited on the side of our artery walls and whatnot. Yeah, just awesome. And on a funny side note, they've actually studied these for beer foam stability, believe it or not. So it's something to do with the fatty acids. But these guys also have polysaccharides, and they also have beta-glucans, which are going to help you fight certain cancers. They're antimicrobial properties against E. coli and Staphylococcus aureus, which are baddies, right? Okay, so those are, a lot of times they're resistant to any kind of treatment to them. But but they've also got antioxidant properties, and they can also be parasitized by another, and it's called Helminthosphaeria clavarium. Once these guys get parasitized by them, they're going to have like black and gray in them, kind of look like Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. Now, these guys, as they are here, are edible and have lots of good nutrients in them, but once they're parasitized by that Helminthosphaeria, they can give you pretty bad GI upset and can make these guys toxic. So if they've got those kind of black colors to them, don't ingest them. They're great for like increasing your volume of soups and stews or whatever. You can fry them up, put them on your steak and things like that. But yeah, beautiful. And you can see how wrinkly that they can get. Just awesome. And they are growing all through here, but they're just, like I said, they're just tiny. All right, well, let's carry on. And we talked about how the poor Helvella vespertina gets attacked by the hypomyces. And they're not the only ones. These beautiful things here, look at this little cluster of these guys. We're going to take our knife and we're going to dig this guy up because we have some little features underneath that we would like to show you. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we've got this little mass of mushrooms here, and at the base of these guys was the mycelium of the Helvella vespertina, and these guys parasitize them. So this is called the sclerotium, and this is where all the mature fruit bodies come up. And you can see they're different. They kind of got little concentric rings to them or so. Yeah, so this is the Clitosobe sclerotoidea, And like I said, they're going to parasitize the Helvella vespertina. And they need the vespertina metabolites for them to actually produce their mature basidiocarps, these mushroom caps and whatnot. But yeah, just really, really neat. Another parasitizing fungi on another fungi. One of the odd things is that the basidiocarps don't normally actually attack the ascomycotas, but these ones do. So yeah, just bizarre. Here she comes, running through the field. Well, I did not expect to see these guys. As a matter of fact, once again, I found another piece of eggshell. But I happened, because I was looking at the eggshell, I happened to spot these guys. We got some little tiny, come on out of there, some little hydenums. Little hydenum umbilicatum here, just a little beauty. And oh, look at that, he's got a friend. Wow, did not expect to see these guys. That was quite a pleasant surprise. Awesome. I think I'll just pull this little guy up too. Oh, there's 3. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Come on. Just pinching off the base of them so I'm not disturbing their mycelium. But yeah, nice. So we've got 3 of these little guys to come home with us. Sweet. Maybe we'll find some more stuff. It is of yellow color, and they call it butter of witches. This is, looks like to me, this is Dacromyces chrysospermus. But yeah, these guys are really, really neat. These guys you can eat raw. These ones are a little bit too far gone, and they get really, really waterlogged and slimy. In October of 2025 now, they found actual 4 new species in China, which is pretty neat. Now there's a bunch of these guys. They're quite beautiful, very jelly. And these guys this year actually have gone crazy. I've found witch's butter everywhere. Now the Dacromyces, they like their conifers, they're dead wood conifers, and they'll be on branches or logs like this one. It's a downed log. And there are also other ones, like there's ones that are kind of an orb kind of shape, like the stellatus and the capitatus. There's also a couple that look kind of like a goblet, and that's the Spathularia and deliquescens. But they have done a little bit of research on these guys, not a lot, but they have found that they actually have polysaccharides, and they've got the phenols and polyphenols, they've got triterpenes, they've got flavonoids, so they do have some actual anti-cancerous qualities, they have anti-inflammatory qualities, and things to the like of that. Now they also have like iron and zinc, and they've got a little bit of selenium, only trace amounts though. So they have actually some potential benefits for these guys, for us humans. Now they haven't done any human testing yet, it's all been in the lab. But in the lab they've actually found that these guys have potential immunomodulatory qualities. They've got anti-tumorous qualities, antioxidant qualities. And they can help support our circulation and our respiratory system as well. And as far as I know, this also goes for the Tremella genus, which usually you're going to find on hardwoods, and not actually the hardwood itself. Those guys are actually parasitic on little tiny crust fungus, and its name is Pineaphora. But all the jellies on the island has been quite mass amounts of them. I've been finding them just absolutely everywhere. But yeah, once again, you can eat these guys raw, but most people are going to candy them and stuff like that. They've got no flavor. I've heard that they can taste like Fruit Loops. Yeah, no, I've never found that. But yeah, and there's so many different kinds of jellies too. I mean, maybe we might even actually come across the old, the poor man's gumdrop there, hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's move on. We got a few big white ones down here. Another one over there. A few more over here. These guys look to me like the Leucopaxillus albissimus. And these guys, yeah, see how they get the swollen stipe at the base here? Yeah, and these guys last for so long. I mean, these guys have been actually out for a month. So believe it or not. Like the Asperopaxillus giganteus, they can also form a fairy ring, but you know, these guys are not quite forming a fairy ring, but definitely got an arc going there. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Edibility, not really sure. I think that some people say it is, but not worth it, and other people say that they get GI upset from it. I would go with probably the GI upset from these guys, but yeah, absolutely beautiful. No real smell other than kind of a mushroomy smell. But yeah, definitely see how large the bulbous the base can get on these guys. Very cool. Love these guys, but we covered these guys a while back, so we're going to carry on. Now it's funny that on the 8th of January, I'm still finding Suillus. Yeah, these guys are actually, he's not actually all that bug-eaten. A little bit by a sluggo, though. Yeah, these guys have very viscid cap, and actually I quite enjoy these. They have a wonderful nutty flavor. The only downside to them is they're a lot of work. You got to peel the cap surface, you've got to take the pore surface off, and even scrape down the stipe on these guys. And you can see this guy's starting to blue. Yeah, absolutely delicious. This guy's been mowed on too badly by slugs, so I'm not going to do anything with him, and there's only the one. But yeah, love the Suillus. They're absolutely delish, and I'm talking like the Leucopaxillus, the Amanita, all of those. They're just really, really tasty. And again, like I say, they have kind of a nutty flavor to me. Yum, yum. But staying on the 4th floor. And, as fate should have it, look at this. We have the poor man's gumdrops. These guys. These are the ones that actually I will have no problem just popping in my mouth and eating. Yeah, just a little burst of moisture. It's basically all you're going to get out of them. But they've got these little tiny holdfasts that, and then they hang down like a little drop. And actually, we'll pull up the sticky here and take a look at these guys a little closer. Now, if you see them all bunched up like that, they can look very much like the Dacromyces chrysospermus. Yeah, and this is on a conifer stick here. But these guys are just so neat. And they do have a little tiniest, tiny bit of flavor. I'm still chewing on it. But it is not Fruit Loops. Yeah, cool. So these guys would be worthwhile to me if I had more of them. Candying these guys, that would be really cool. Yeah. Guapiniopsis alpina, poor man's gumdrop. Just beautiful. Beautiful little guy. So this is one of the beautiful Amanitas, and I'm thinking most likely the panther cap. Now the thing with the Amanitas is their genus is broken down into several sections. And so they've got Amanita, they've got Validae, they've got Caesariae, they've got Phalloideae. And the Phalloideae has like the death cap, the Phalloides, and it also has the Ocreata, the destroying angel in it. Caesariae has ones like the Calyptroderma, which normally, when these guys come out, they've got these little tiny warts and all that stuff. When the Calyptroderma comes up, which are normally anywhere between yellow and kind of this color, they have normally like a big piece of the old vulva right across the top of the cap, or several larger pieces. This is usually the case with the Calyptroderma. But this guy is not him as far as I can tell. Pretty sure that this is the Amanita, pantherina, panthernoides, because we've got the panthernoides is a different species over on the west coast here. These guys are absolute beauties. Now with these guys, they have the same compounds in them as does the Muscaria, and the Muscaria is also in the Amanita section, and but to varying degrees. Now the pantherinas actually have higher concentrations of the muscimol and lower concentrations of the ibotenic acid, whereas the Muscaria is going to have higher ibotenic acid and lower in the muscimol, and our bodies actually convert ibotenic acid into muscimol. Now the shamans back in the day, they would normally use the muscaria to do their spiritual journeys, but when they wanted to do a darker spiritual journey, from what I understand, they went to the pantherina, these guys here. And you can see they've got this beautiful material down here, which is part of the vulva, which is what leaves those little warts on the top of these guys. And actually, I'm almost squishing a brand new little one trying to come out of the ground here. Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh, look at that. Isn't he gorgeous? Well, so we got a couple of them here. And the testing that they've done on these things basically is they've taken people that have been poisoned by both the pantherina and the muscaria, and I believe there was 10 in each study. And they found that the people that were poisoned by the muscaria actually were more angry and agitated and confused, and yeah, and their cognitive skills were toast. And whereas the ones that were on the pantherina were more, they were just more chill. They weren't agitated. They had more of a euphoric feeling, and but the only difference was 2 of the people that were actually poisoned by the pantherina went into a coma. So yeah, they'll help you sleep, but maybe for too long. So you always got to be careful with that kind of thing. So these guys have the ibotenic acid and the muscimol, but they also have muscarine and muscazone. So they got a lot more compounds in them that can do strange things to our bodies. And also the gemmatas, which are also in the Amanita section, those guys also have the muscimol and ibotenic acid. Either way, these guys are beauties. I'm just going to leave them here. I'm not even going to pull them up. Let them do their thing. Now, the gemmata group, or at least around here, have been done for about a month, so there aren't any of those around. However, I did film them about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, and my video that I was making was getting too long, and it ended up on the cutting room floor. So I'll put that video right behind this pantherina video. Oh, look at this. There are so many little cat tongues around here. We went over these guys in the last video there. And now sorry Mossy Mom, I made an underestimation on the amount of these guys that I could actually harvest. I thought I could do a basket in an hour. No, not even close. Actually, I think I made it to about a quarter of a basket, and that was it. That was a few days ago, but yeah. So sorry about that overestimation of the volume of these little beautiful cat tongues. Meow, meow, meow. Here's another beauty here. This guy's a little bit bigger. Maybe we can get this guy up. See what he's all about. Oh yeah, beautiful. So you can see these guys kind of have a collar at the top of their vulva here. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, and this one's still got its partial veil still hanging on in there. These guys have a look-alike, the Augusta, but it's in a different section, the Validae section, and it has kind of a yellowy tone to its actual annulus, its ring there. It's really, really neat looking though. Love these guys. Just wish they weren't toxic because they're just so chonky. Just awesome. Beautiful. This guy just popped up through here. And a beautiful Amanita, and you can see that the little scabers are not attached to the top. And by their color, I kind of wanted to say the Amanita aprica, but the aprica, the little scabers are always fused to the top. And this guy is very possibly, I mean, it might be a gemmata. That's beautiful. These guys will have a white spore print. He's been mowed down on by some slugs by the looks of things. And most of the Amanitas are poisonous, so please be very careful. Yeah, so they've got this little egg sac, and the whole thing started out in this egg sac here and burst out to the top. And these little scabers that are left behind on the top here are actually part of that vulva that was left behind. And everything. This guy will have dropped already like millions of spores. but just absolutely, wow, so pretty. And looks like we have some more of the gemmata group. Gemmata. Yeah, it's this guy up here. Ooh, look at the size of that bulb, that vulva on this guy. What a honker. And they have really just a pale yellow kind of color. And again, all these scabers just wipe right off. And yeah, the only thing like I say about these guys is they just seem a little stockier than all the gemmatas that I have found previous. But that doesn't mean anything, because a lot of times they'll have different statures to them, and you know, depending on what they're growing in, what their substrate they're growing on is, and things like that. The Calyptroderma group has a bright yellow cap, and the other is the Amanita muscaria, can have a very bright yellow variety to them as well. Look at that vulva. Wow. And that's what gets left on the top of these guys. Beautiful. There's a couple of them in here. These guys have lost a lot of their little scabers. This one here is just a prime guy. Absolutely beautiful. So again, I think I might have the gemmata or gemmata group. Quite possibly not. If you think something different, please leave it in the comments below. And just over here, we got this little guy here who's just popped up out of the ground, and he's already been attacked by a hypomyces. At least I think so. This is all connected to this leaf here. Look at that. Like one big old cotton ball. You can see it forms this kind of a cloud-like formation almost, in a three-dimensional. Now, mycelium has a habit of being two-dimensional under the ground, and these guys are the cobweb mold. And not only can they attack your grain spawn if you're trying to grow mushrooms at home, but they also exist out in the wild. And here's living proof of that. Here's another beauty right here. Look at that beautiful ring. And then below it, got this beautiful vulva. Wow. I just absolutely am completely amazed by all mushrooms. They just blow my mind. Yeah. Wild. So I've never seen one go this crazy like that. That is absolutely so neat.